What's up, Beer League hockey fans and fellow dumpers? Welcome to another unedited, unfiltered, worldwide Dump and Skate podcast, or in Holland's case, a Dump and Ref podcast. The number one hockey podcast in the Bluffton, Hilton Head area, Pooler, Georgia, and Niles, Illinois area, and the countries of Israel and Colombia. Shout out to Corey, my favorite droner boner. We are the hockey dynamic dumpers, or as some haters call us, the 69er couple. I'm the podcast scheduler, social media content creator, official video and audio editor, the broken, old, and decrepit bender, the ball buster who doesn't name wives or girlfriends because I don't even know their names. The one that all the ladies love, so they take videos and photos of me, Jeremy. I wanted to know what it's like to be Holland, so on my last game, I had the puck and pass it to the other team for them to score Abdu. Apparently, that's a frowned upon on your teammates. With me, as always. Can I just carry on, please? With me, as always, the man that makes this podcast possible, the only producer that doesn't do any editing because he doesn't have all the time in the world to edit Abdu's blind squirrel moments. The, as Dane worded it, talent of the podcast. And we're back to this one. The guy that I have to nag for a week and a half to upload, now known as the Vaulted Podcast for you, the listeners. The guy that won't hesitate to help out family or friends in need, the friend and brother that will always have your back, especially if any kind of beer leaguers make false statements or just come after you. The very hardworking family man, Jeremy. Can we please get some plates, Holland?
That's going to be a good story to tell, too. That's good. There was a lot to unpack. You probably should have saved some of that.
I got more. I got more for tomorrow's podcast. Just you wait. Just you wait.
Gosh. Oh, man. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all shapes, sizes, and flavors? Welcome into your favorite beer league podcast, the Dump and Skate podcast. It has been a long several weeks here. We are super excited to be back and recording again. Yes, as Abdu stated, we got the last podcast dumped out really quickly on our YouTube channel, but due to some contract changes with our podcast host site, I don't know. I got some cross feelings about that. We're not big enough. So the podcast service that we use basically changed our agreement midstream. So we had signed and paid for them to post, and then all of a sudden they added a feature that I didn't ask them to add and we don't use. And when they did that, they shrunk down everybody's storage space. So all of a sudden we were 150% over our storage space. Now that's ridiculous and absurd that they did that sort of thing. And so we were Abdu and I were working behind the scenes trying to figure out a way to free up storage space without losing old episodes, and could not figure it out. So we ended up, they held us financially hostage, basically.
Yep.
So very reluctantly, we paid what we needed to pay to increase our storage and all. I'm not happy about it. We'll get a solution for that long term. I just don't like the way they handled it. I wish they would have, I don't know. Anyways, so
that's why there was a podcast host.
Yeah, podcast, so you jerks. That's why there was a big delay in the YouTube hitting and then the podcast hitting. So if you guys listen to strictly the podcast stuff, either on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anything else, I apologize for the delay. There was some contractual disputes that we were having with our podcast. So yeah, bunch of jerks. Anyways, got that behind us. Feel really good about that. Yes, I did go. We've had a really good week of hockey. We did go out to eat. Hitch.
You want to do?
I will in a second.
Okay.
I will in a second. Right. Yeah, we're getting there. So we did go out to eat at Hitch, and the service was a little sluggish.
It always is there.
I don't know. It's not. This felt slower. I felt like I could have finished that entire drink relatively easy before like we even sniffed food, which is usually not the norm. Usually we get a drink, we're about halfway through the drink and the food shows up, right? And so just in time for like, hey, yeah, go ahead and bring me another round. So I'm eating and now I can have another round to kind of finish off the meal, a couple of drinks and we're good to go. So I thought it was kind of slow, and what I did not realize was, anyway, so it took a bit, and not mad or frustrated. We were there with a big group of people and having a good time for the most part, and we got our food, and we ordered just a bunch of appetizers, like 3 or 4 different appetizers for our whole table. So we are just going to split them. And when the girl bringing the food she was not our waitress, it was a different, I think she was actually working at the bar, brought our food, set it down. I was thinking I was doing the table a favor by asking for plates. Unbeknownst to me, she had already dropped them off and they were literally sitting right in front of me. So I asked her, hey, can we get some plates? And she looked at me like I was a complete idiot, which was probably an accurate look at the moment, and said, you mean these? And pointed right in front of me. And I said, yeah, that's
rough.
That's what I meant.
Well, that was rough.
Yeah, that was rough. So, but good for her. She,
I mean, we both had our moments that night.
I mean, I feel like one of them cost us a goal. The other one just, made me look stupid.
Well, I feel like me coughing up the puck, passing it to the other person didn't make me look like Albert Einstein.
Fair enough.
So,
fair enough. Yeah, so we're even now. So there's been I've caught a lot of flack from you since last year when I thought that I had a nice clear lane out of our zone to pass the puck to. And I committed the cardinal sin that I have fussed at multiple people for, and fired the puck through the middle of the rink in my own zone, and literally passed it on the tape to the other team.
Yours was like a direct pass. Mine was just a complete bonehead.
Pass.
Yeah, it was a complete bonehead move. I tried to be the hero and curve back in and whatever. It was a really nice drop pass.
Yeah. I mean,
and yours was a really good pass too.
Crisp on the tape. I mean,
nice.
Couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah,
right.
Didn't wobble, nothing. So, yeah. So Abdu was at the circle, I think, and we were trying to get out of. It all started actually, I think, from Brannick not being able to get his foot out of the ground. So Brent had made a save. There was no one in front of the net except for 2 of our players, and I was off to the side. And Brannick was trying to kick the puck out of the crease, and he just couldn't pick his feet up. It was quite hilarious. I've never seen anything quite like it. I don't know if he was standing, like all of his weight was on the foot he was trying to kick with or what, but it was like his feet were glued. He couldn't move either foot. And then he started panicking, and he had plenty of time because nobody was pressuring him. And so he finally flicks it out with his stick. It goes in the corner. I think Pete actually picked it up, or somebody picked it up and pushed it up the boards to you. And you were just maybe above the circle. And I started to rotate into the corner, and you had your back to the opposite end, the back to the neutral zone, and your face facing me. So I thought, all right, you started coming towards me. I said, he's going to pass it to me and either hit the brakes or peel out towards the middle of the ice, and we're going to have a nice breakout and get out of here. Nope. You did not pass to me, never once looked to pass to me, instead just started to curl towards the middle of the rink.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, as you turned, your whole body and momentum, everything stopped, and the puck just kept drifting off of your stick right out to their waiting defenseman who walked into the slot and scored a goal.
See, that would have been a time for me to high-five the other team as well.
Yeah, I was really frustrated. I was like, what the heck, dude? But Brent, our goalie, just started laughing so hard I couldn't even stay mad for very long. So, yeah. That was
like I said, I had 1 or 2 options that I had in my mind. I was either going to skate up to Brent and go, Brent, what the fuck? Why didn't you stop that? Instead, I went to the bench and I said, this is what happens when you tell me to just play in my zone.
Play defense, yeah.
So
good stuff. Well, before we go any farther with today's podcast and some of our big topics we want to talk about today, we want to give a quick shout out to the guys. We pump their tires all the time. It's our boys at B&R Sports, specifically our guy John Marola, and all the help he's given us down here. Still doing his part to help us out with jerseys. We just sent another order up to him, a replenishment order for some teams that have added new skaters. Our guy Pete Rossi ordered some skates from him. They look phenomenal. They're the
sexy.
The retro 652 Pros, beautiful skates. Pete absolutely loves them, so they're probably the most comfortable things he's ever put on his feet. Johnny got them shipped out super quick. So, John, thank you, BNR Sports. Thank you, guys. We're going to continue to send guys up your way. I mean, guys, if you've listened to us at all and you're still buying your stuff from anywhere else, you know where we're talking about. What is wrong with you? Give our guys BNR Sports a shot to get your business. You're not going to regret it. Same prices you're going to get everywhere else, just as good as shipping. And you know these guys, and they know you, and they're going to take care of you because they know us. So give them a shout. Give them a chance to earn your business. brsport.com. We love those guys. Shout out Shane. Shout out Johnny Cakes. Love you guys. So also, we want to tickle you guys with a little feather here, as Abdu likes to say. Well, actually, Abdu likes to say he wants to tickle your nuts with a feather, but
I say tickle your ass with a feather.
yeah, there you go. So with
Nuts, tickling your nuts sounds like so perverted and just inappropriate.
Butt's way better. Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. Got to keep it clean. So we have a super special tournament coming up August 22nd through 24th. It's going to be at All Seasons Rink, and it's going to be sponsored by a whole bunch of people, but the title sponsor is going to be our guy Rob Cooch and the Zeros brand. Your boys, the Dump and Skate Boys, are going to be a part of it. Chicagoland Print, BNR Sports, the whole works, bunches and bunches of guys sponsoring it. So we want to make it a really exciting time. We're going to bring our guys that we traveled with this past summer. We're going to bring them up to the Naperville area. We're really excited about that. Get a chance to see Abdu's old stomping grounds, bring all of his new friends and introduce them to his old friends. We can all be friends. I'm sure there's a song in there somewhere, but really, really excited about it. If you want to be involved in that, reach out to us. I think, does All Seasons have it listed on their website yet? Do you know?
I don't think it's on their website just yet. Probably soon.
Yeah, it will be soon. As soon as it hits, we'll let you guys know. We'll post links, all of that stuff. So if you've listened to us, you want to throw a team together, give us a shout. We'll tell you what to do. Should be a lot of fun. We're really, really excited about doing that, having a good time with everybody. So yeah, looking forward to it. So give us a shout, and we'll get you involved.
It'll be a good time, boys and girls.
Boys and girls.
And D-cups.
Hockey is for everyone.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get into it. The meat and potatoes.
All right.
What do you want to talk about first?
Let's just start with the week. Oh,
Okay.
Actually, we didn't do one last week, so I can't even remember that far back.
I don't even know when the last time we did one
Yeah.
was.
Well, it's been...
We had a busy weekend last week because I had a tournament with my kid,
Right.
and then you and I had a pretty exciting Sunday.
So, yeah, we'll just start with the week. We reffed our first game, not like the all-star game. It's a legit in the books referee.
Dump and skate became dump and ref.
Yep. Yeah, so first game was the Zeros and the Silver Knights. So I'm going to follow your lead on this one so I don't flub this. It was...
We'll just talk about our refereeing to
Okay.
begin with.
Yeah.
I think we did great.
Amazing.
Best
you would
referees
think,
in the
I'm
entire
surprised the NHL didn't call us up yet.
Look, Kazari, I know you or your wife are probably going to listen to this. We don't have any film of it. Just take our word for it.
We do.
We do? He didn't
the Silver
play
Knights.
goalie.
Oh,
He didn't play goalie for them.
Okay, well then never mind. We don't.
We have no film.
I got some videos for you, Kazar. You can just send me a text. I'll send you some videos. It has nothing to do with reffing, but
probably won't like these.
some of you guys in my group chat probably know what's coming up. So, or we can just have Rob. We can just have Rob just come on the podcast and just say what it is. So,
just dime you out right here. Yeah, I think we did good. That wasn't a great game to referee because there was some screaming and hollering at guys screaming and hollering that didn't like the way things were going, but whatever. Sucks to be you. Unlike your picture, you wore a helmet without a cage and you actually had a whistle so you could actually blow the whistle. And I thought it was hilarious that Sprints hopped on the ice after. Was it Sprints that jumped on? He was like, man, I could hear you all the way in the locker room yelling, no ice, no ice.
yeah, well, with the amount of people in the crowd, I had to make sure that everyone heard because it was jam-packed sellout.
They heard we were reffing and they were like, we got to get there and see this. These guys are our favorite.
Yeah, I mean, again, we got a fan base. I'm surprised we haven't gotten called up. So
We might get a call up about something.
so yeah, the first game was not ideal for a men's league. Again, everybody knows the rules. Everybody is what would you say? A know-it-all. They know the rules. They know how the game's played.
There are so many guys on the ice that are smarter than
Yes.
everyone else on the ice. I don't know how
And
to quantify who's the smartest. I feel like we should figure out a way to do that, just so that we could be like, this guy's the winner. He's smarter than all of us.
and they are so smart and better than us that they are playing in a C league
And also don't ref,
and don't ref.
and have never refed, and have never volunteered to ref
Right.
or learned to ref. But they
yeah.
know the rule book.
They anyone can quote a rule book like it's a song.
Yeah.
Eminem. So
Mom's spaghetti.
second game was a lot more fun. That game felt like it should have been.
It actually felt like a C League game because you didn't have guys
Breathing down your neck.
losing their minds about, why didn't you blow that as icing? We didn't blow it as icing because your own team shot the puck from the offensive zone back into your defensive zone. That's not icing, you moron.
There is no need for, in any sport, not just beer league, for any player to be in the face of a referee at any point.
Verbally assault a referee.
None whatsoever. Whether you know the guy or not, it's just that can set a fuse off and just ruin the tempo of the game too. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, it's probably not a good idea. You know this because we've talked. I got a little frustrated with referee in our A-League game because I picked up and played in a couple of games. There were only 2 A-League games this week, so I played in both of them. Pete's team was short, so I skated with those guys. That game, we'll talk about it a little bit, but that game got a little heated just because of the style of play of a couple guys on one team. And the referee, as Pete worded, inserted himself into the game by basically making a call that he turned to our bench and claimed, hey, I'm just basically trying to get under control. Well, he only made a call on one team. He had a very clear opportunity to make a call on both teams and settle things down and issue warnings to both benches of, hey, relax or else. Instead, he chose to just simply send one player from one team to the box. Look, maybe referees that listen to this can chime in and say, hey, no, that is a tactic to calm things down. It sends a message to both teams. It didn't feel like it to the bench I was sitting on. It felt like it just was a message to one side. So they were frustrated with that. I was in the same boat with them because I felt like, hey, that's, now you're stepping into a game you didn't really need to step into, kind of thing. So fast forward to my game, which was after that. Same referee, same problem. Went to very peculiar. We scored a goal. I actually scored the goal. Both of my teammates that were up as a 3-on-2 saw it go in the net. It was tucked into the corner of the net. The referee saw it, made eye contact with one of the other players who was on the other side of the rink, and pointed his whistle hand to call a goal and put his non-whistle hand to his mouth to blow the whistle. Realized the mistake, and instead of flipping hands and blowing the whistle and stopping the play, allowed the other team's defenseman to grab the puck out of the net, head up the ice, and they ended up scoring a goal that same shift. So
they continued play.
There you go. Yeah, never blew it dead, never followed through with the call that he was clearly making, that, again, multiple guys on my team could visibly see him making just because of an error on his part. So several shifts later, I questioned him about it. I was like, hey, what's the deal with you pointing at the net to call a goal but not blowing the play dead? And he had a couple of snarky answers to it that I didn't particularly like. And he asked, are you worried about you think the game's in doubt or something? We were up 2 or 3 goals, and I think he was thinking, we were positioned well to beat him. So he was kind of being a smart aleck about, what are you worried about? You guys you're ahead. What are you worried about? And so I said, well, I'm worried about the refereeing. I didn't cuss the guy out, but probably not the best look on my part to pop back off at the ref. Probably should have just bit my tongue. So, I get it. Guys, get frustrated with referees and all, but if you're skating around constantly complaining and yelling that they're not making calls and that if it was you that they would have made the call and yada yada yada, yeah, you need to take a break and you need to probably,
Right. So this is like
I don't know, stupid.
two different, like the C League and the A League,
Yeah.
two different kind of situations. Both referees involved, like situation.
Yeah.
One, you let the in your game, you let, I don't want to say dictate, but you kind of let the referee actually change the pace of that game right there, right?
Well, in both games. So in the first game that I was picked up in, the referee, what had happened is there were a couple of guys that like I said, we'll talk about this a little more when we talk about something else here in a few minutes. But there were a couple of guys that were charging really hard towards the net, and there's very little you can do in a non-contact league when a guy cuts into the angles these guys cut in. It really puts you in a bind as a defenseman. Do you just let him crash into your goalie? Do you just give him a free run to the net? Do you try to push on him, and at that point, do you run him into the goalie? Like what? You're really at a loss here. You're at an extreme disadvantage. So those guys had crashed a couple of times, and one of the defensemen finally kind of had enough of it and dumped one of them. Right? That doesn't get called. Probably should have been called, but didn't. And immediately, the player who was dumped and a different player that was playing for us, not the guy that dumped him, but a completely different, got in each other's faces, and to the point where they were both kind of saying, "You want to fight? You going to swing at me? What are you going to do?" Chest bump and stuff like that. In my mind, that's where the whistle gets blown. That's where you just send both guys to the box for 2 minutes, both of them taking unsportsmanlike. You look at both guys and say, "Hey, you guys need to just both chill out. Both of you relax. We're not going to do all of this. Whether you felt like you did something right or wrong, you're both going to sit for 2 minutes." And then that's where, as a referee, I would hope they would go to the benches and say, "Hey, captain, you tell your guys to chill out. This is a good, clean game. If one team is crashing super hard, you guys need to relax. Knock that off, or I'm going to start calling you guys for, unsportsmanlike for crashing on the goalie and stuff. Like, just, you got to stop all that." Issued similar warnings to both teams. Get yourselves under control, play a controlled game, or else we're going to start escalating penalties. This is your one and only warning. The referee chose not to do any of that, chose to allow those guys to spend a good minute to 2 minutes just jawing at each other while he continued to say, "Hey, you need to stop. Well, you guys should stop." And then proceeded to let those two guys take the draw against each other when they did finally get calmed down and play. So and then 5 minutes later, call a penalty that most everyone in the building thought was a ticky-tack penalty. And so that's really, I don't know, that's why the claim was made. Hey, now you're inserting yourself into a game and affecting the outcome of a game by making a call where you could have made a call to accomplish what you claim you were trying to accomplish way earlier, and it would not have affected the outcome of the game.
Right. And just like in the Sunday games that we did, it was almost like the players were trying to take control of the game themselves. So it was just two different situations, but referees were involved, and there's no need for that, any of that.
Yeah.
In either league, none of that should have happened, in my opinion.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, it's never a good look to be yelling at the referees. Like I said, what was going on in the C League was way more egregious than any of the things that were said to the referees in A League. Now, very clearly, I got under the referee's skin when I made the comment about I'm mostly concerned about the reffing, based on his reaction, that I'm not going to air on this. But if you want to know what it was, you can reach out to me separately and privately. But his reaction, in my opinion, I had a couple guys that I told about it. They kind of laughed and like, "You got to admit that's kind of funny." I was like, "I don't know. It just seems really unprofessional to me. If you're getting paid to do a job, you should probably be able to take a little bit of heat, from snarky comments, kind of thing." So, but I understand the positions of the refs. It's a little unfair of me to pop off at the mouth at the referee. I can own that and say, "Hey, probably shouldn't have done that. Wasn't the best look on my part." So, but yeah, refereeing's hard, but at least try to do it right.
I had fun. I actually had fun.
I enjoyed the second game. I did not enjoy reffing the first game. Simply because
first game,
just one or two guys out there that were.
You and I were both in the same. We're like, this is just crazy.
You guys are idiots. You're just making this uncomfortable. And there's some. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on some of that because there's a lot of stuff that's going on with it still. But
I understand.
There are certain people that just make things really, really uncomfortable, and I wish there was more that could be done. But given the situation, it was going to be really difficult for me to start escalating things.
Look, bitches, it's beer league. It's all just meant to have fun. You can have some competitiveness, but look, there's no cash involved other than you paying, so there's no need to be a douchebag.
There is no NHL contract waiting for any of you idiots, like especially not in the C League.
Not
So
in the
please
C
stop.
League.
Please stop MFing everyone on the ice because you think they're trying to do you dirty. Just go play hockey and stop acting like a moron. Please.
Amen.
You idiot.
Tss.
Yeah.
Idiot.
All right. That was fun. So the refereeing was exciting. And I think it's something you and I may continue to do. We'll
I would
see
like
how that
to
progresses. Yeah.
but
That should bring about some more good stories.
yeah, yeah.
Because there were some pretty funny ones from our good buddy Barrett, who had dropped down to play in C in the second game. And Barrett is a B League player. He'll tell you to his face, "No, I don't really even think I belong in B League." Barrett, you're a B League player. We
You
both
are a
believe
B
that.
League, Barrett,
You're a B
for
League
sure.
guy, buddy. The B League was built for you. I think it's your home, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a very, very
B League
positive
stands
way.
for Barrett.
100%. And so
It's the Barrett League.
But Barrett dropped down into C League, and he very, very, very much for that one game took on the skill level of the C players.
Yes.
He very first shift he wiped out in his own zone.
Yep. And
But Barrett's such a great guy. He's such a good sport about it. He laughed about it, and we gave him a little bit of crap about how he was playing and everything, and he just chuckled. He was having a good time, which is what beer
That's
league
what
is
it should be.
supposed to. It's what it's supposed to be about. Yeah.
take some notes, you overachieving dick faces. So,
What exactly is that?
well, the people that think they know it all and just are uptight.
Yeah, but you have a very specific description there of what they were. That's
Well, I was-
weird.
Look, I don't know what to say. It just lighten up people.
Lighten up, you idiots.
Yeah.
Oh man. So all right, well, let's
we
talk
had
over it.
we had the 40-plus game that you didn't play because you were
Taking a night
overachieving
off.
all weekend, trying to go to the rink, trying to spend as much time as you could at the rink. So you needed some time off.
Yep.
My fondue boo, he needed some time off because you had the tournaments. Which your kid, congratulations, Aiden, got second place. They earned a trophy, so that's sweet.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
really
That's a
good.
big deal down here.
And we're gonna have Pete on the podcast again to talk a little bit more about the kids stuff. We got a bunch of guests actually we need to get on here in a pretty short order. So, but yeah, the kids did phenomenal. Pete will probably restate this. We posted on our social media the interview that Pete did with the local news station. He talked about the U10 team. That's the team my kid plays on. About how they accomplished a couple of really neat things for the Ghost Pirates, the Junior Ghost Pirates organization. Number one, they won the first tournament game in Junior Ghost Pirates history. So none of the other teams, since we started this Junior Ghost Pirates program last year, have been to a tournament and won a tournament, an actual tournament format, not like a jamboree. And then also they won a trophy. So they placed second. They played the championship game and lost, but came in second. And so they placed second in this tournament. So have a trophy. Each kid got a medal. And so it was really, really fun to watch. The kids, I volunteered to hang in the penalty box and open and close the door for the kids. So I got to spend some quality time with my kid because he got a penalty every game. So, but he was only doing what his coaches told him, which was, hey, be assertive, get to the puck. It's your puck kind of thing. And if you happen to arrive there and you're bigger than the other kid and you knock him over, the ref is usually going to call a penalty. So
Just don't hit them from behind like another Holland.
no, don't shove them from behind. Like you gotta, don't sully the name, kid. Don't sully the name. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to be able to watch. And probably what was most exciting, and I know this is really exciting for the coaches, and we'll leave a lot of this for Pete to talk about. But where the kids started about a month ago or so at their first tournament and where they are now, it's just night and day. The kids have gotten so much better. They understand how to play together. And what was really, really fun was the team they lost to in the championship, they had lost to in round robin, and the team beat them handily in round robin. And the kids weren't really upset about the loss during the round robin play. But I think once they tasted a couple of wins in round robin play and they knew what it felt like to win and they knew what it felt like to play well, that you could see frustration setting in on the kids in that championship game when they could tell, we're getting beat. We're not winning. We want to be winning, and so that is really cool to watch. And the kids, I got to be careful here at the danger of sounding like a Karen who everybody's a winner kind of nonsense. I don't believe in that, but I'm going to say winning is not the only important thing for these kids right now. But I appreciate our kids understanding the feeling of a win and understanding the feeling of a loss.
Yeah.
And now saying, because feeling a win and desiring to win creates a different work ethic in you. And so I think that's what our kids experienced, was that work ethic of, I want to work harder to get a win. And so that's another corner that's being rounded for these kids. So that was really, really cool to watch and see. So very, very exciting.
Again, that's a lot of what the coaches have done.
Yep.
It's and for those of you not from the Savannah area, the kids program is very, very new.
Yeah.
So they've come a long way.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
before we move on, as long as we're talking about Pete, I would just want to give an update on Pete. Fancy Parker's. It's the buffalo. It was the buffalo chicken that is the meal to go for, because he did try the hamburger. He called me up a couple weeks ago, says, Abdu, I just want to let you know the hamburger did the same thing as the chicken wrap. So he said,
instant poo stew.
Instant poo stew. He said he lost a few pounds. He couldn't hold it on. I thought it was food poisoning. But at some point you would stop going there and eating before a game. But you
would think
he said he was a workhorse, man. The guy was just
he's an addict. He just can't say no.
He just had a great game eating the buffalo chicken. He said it came out solid. He came out solid. It wasn't liquid.
Not just the poo. The playing ability came out solid too.
And it was less than 12 wipes. So it was. I just want to let you guys know, Fancy Parker's. If you have IBS, it is the definitely go with the buffalo chicken.
If you have IBS, probably just don't go to Fancy Parker's and get food.
I don't know why anyone would do gas station, but my cherry picking fondue, boo. I do want you to try the pizza, just for me. Just try, Pete. Don't listen to Holland. When do we ever listen to Holland?
Never.
Go with the pizza.
Please do this time.
Go with the pizza. Mix. I think you and I talked about this. Do the pizza with the burger inside. So just make a pizza burger and then eat that and see what happens.
Oh, kamikaze meal.
Yes.
Good
and
grief.
he might skate faster. He's like, oh man, we got to get running time because my ass is on fire.
If we're not up by 6 goals by the end of the second period, I'm going to be in big trouble.
Yeah. Or just have Abdu out there the whole time where he can pass it to the other team. They can rack up 6 goals and we can get running time.
Just shoot the puck at your own net.
Yes.
Guys, I'm sorry. We're losing this one anyways. This is just going to get it over faster.
Yeah. And then the handshake line. Good game. Gotta go.
Just run through and fist bump.
Yeah.
See you guys later. Man, Pete moved really fast. Oh, gosh. All right, let's talk about these overachievers.
Yeah. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start and see. Well, let me start in A-League, because in A-League, I know about it, you don't. And then we'll kind of head towards, what do we have?
We'll work our way down.
What do we have, 2 or 3?
I think there's one.
Okay, so there's 3 total. So there's a couple of them in the A, there's the couple in B, and then there's the one in C. Well, it's really one in B. All right, let's go. We'll start with there. All right. So as I alluded to already, I'm being told not to talk about people. We don't use their names.
All right, look. I already have a Holland trying to babysit me on the ice. I am not. I'll be damned if I get one on my podcast.
All right. So
Sarah.
Overachievers.
She's still going.
She is. She's worried about people listening to it, knowing who we're talking about. They're not going to know. It's okay.
And even if they do, what are you guys going to do?
What are you going to do? At me already. Right. Just at me.
Oh, we're going to fight you guys. Okay.
Probably so. Don't worry. I'll call Rob. Rob, bring your scooter.
I'll take a crutch, you take a crutch, and then Rob will just do ninja shit with his scooter. Like, what are those things that police...
Ninja stuff with his scooter.
Yeah, you know how they like...
Have you seen him roll on his scooter? There
No.
ain't a single ninja thing happening with Rob on that scooter, other than his right leg getting swole from pushing that scooter around all the time.
Look, it's good to have a guy like Rob in your corner. One leg, man. 2 legs, 3 legs, crutches, whatever, Or
balance on his third leg.
Yeah, or we can get Pete. Punches. We can just hey Pete. Pete has fire in him too. All we have to do is just mention Yager and then he will just get fired up and he will just start throwing.
Hasek.
Yes.
Yager and Hasek. What do you think about that, Pete? All right, we're digressing here. All right, so we got a couple of guys that play on one team in A-League. Pete's team played them, and that one of them for a very long time now has he's a right-handed guy, so he drives hard down the left side of the ice and cuts down underneath the face-off circles and drives almost directly parallel to the goal line, screaming in on your goalie. It is very few guys I know do that. If they do that sort of thing, they usually come in at an angle straight onto the goalie, not coming across the goalie's face from like the goal. I mean, it's I don't know if this is translating to the airwaves or not, but it's basically it's a guy running hard to the goal line and making a parallel move across the goal line, right across the goalie's face. Okay, it is exceedingly frustrating for a defenseman, because the point in which he makes that cut at full speed, in a contact league, he's just going to get spilled. You're just going to push him over or push him behind the net, like you can do that sort of thing. In this league, you can try to bot him up, but he's coming with so much momentum that if you step in front of him, it's probably carrying your momentum and his momentum right on top of your goalie.
Right into the goalie.
So then I'm worried about hurting my goalie. So then the option is, okay, do I step out of the way, let him make the move, and then try to lift the stick or anything like that? Well, again, at that point, he's still on a collision course with the goalie. And so it is a lose-lose situation for everybody. It's a winner for the player, because most times guys just kind of back off because they're aware they can't really do much to him. And I don't know. It's very, very frustrating, right? It is 100% what I would call a try-hard move. It is an overachiever move. It's not a necessary thing. Again, I'm not saying hitting the face-off circle and angling in towards the goalie is a bad play. That's not what I'm describing here. What I'm describing is cutting in 2 feet off the goal line and running hard parallel to the goal line right across the goalie's face. You are on a collision course with the goalie. I don't know. That's just foolishness. And so that is what brought about a lot of frustrations on Tuesday of this week in the A-League game that I picked up in. Mm-hmm. If you want to at us and tell me I'm soft and I'm a baby or whatever, that's fine. The only reason I'm concerned about it is the only real defense a defenseman has is to make that cut with him and then try to drive him behind the net and not let him get to the front. But there again, now you're risking playing the body and a referee making a call on the defenseman. And so sure, you guys can add us and tell me that we're playing it wrong and whatever, but I'm not the only guy that's playing in our A-League that gets frustrated with the guys that do that sort of thing. A lot of defensemen just are not thrilled about that sort of move, because a defenseman's defense to that typically is to spill the guy. If you want to come in and cut that hard, you're just going to get planted about 4 foot from the goal. We can't do that in this league. So I get it. It's, whatever. Like, again, at me, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care how you feel about it.
Again, it's the safety of other people around you too.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell me I'm soft. You can tell me we're a soft league. I don't really care about any of that. We want our goalies to be able to get up and go to work in the morning. We want our defensemen, and I want these guys that are doing this move, I want them to be able to get up and go to work in the morning. I've watched these guys multiple times get run into the goal because the defenseman is just doing his best to stop the guy from cutting in on top of the goalie and hurting the goalie. I watched my goalie one season from one of these guys have the goal basically slammed into his shoulder. And so it's very frustrating. I don't know what to do about it. You say something to the guys, oh, whatever, it's just playing hockey. You guys are being babies.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to, right? You talk to their team, it's like, oh, he's just playing, blah, blah, blah. You talk to your team, the guy's being very extra. So
Pete and I decided what we probably need to do is let Pete's team and my team just play each other year round. And just however the wins and losses work out, they work out, because Pete's team is a pretty relaxed team and my team's a pretty relaxed team in A-League.
You should just do divisions, and then the two divisions play each other in the championship. At the end of the
So
season.
the other two teams, which is not entirely fair. Tim's team is one of those teams. It's really the one team. They got a handful of guys that are just kind of tryhards, and it's really one of them. There's a second that's kind of adopted some of that same exact behavior that is not fun to play against, and it's just frustrating. But there again, it's not dirty, so I don't want to. I'm not accusing these guys of being dirty players. We're saying they're overachievers. They are guys that are just trying a bit too hard for a beer league in A-League.
Is that your dogs in the back?
Oh yeah, they're playing. It's my two youngest ones. They love doing this. They're best friends. They're wrestling and biting. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can calm them down a little bit. Let's switch to. While I do that, let's switch over to our B League Overachiever.
You're gonna make me do this on my own?
Just introduce the Overachiever. I'm not leaving the screen. I'm just muting my mic.
I don't know
for a
which
second.
one we're talking about. Are we talking about?
Oh, the only one that's been a major issue that we just played again. All right, the dog's calmed down, so I'm not going to leave
All
you.
right. Okay, good. I didn't know if we were going to talk about the car, the AAA, or
Yeah,
if we were okay.
That's the one.
I didn't know he existed up until this past game. So
I did, because I've actually had two other encounters with him outside
Yes.
of this game.
yes.
So Pete had an encounter with him the very first game we played, where was it the first game of the season? I think it might have been the first game of the season.
yeah, but I didn't even remember him.
I did.
You know. Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah, Pete had an encounter with him because Pete was playing D and squared the kid up and poked the puck away from him, and Pete did it 2 or 3 times, and the kid finally was like, "Oh, this ice sucks. If this ice didn't suck, I'd be burning you, toasting you, old man." And Pete was like, "Dude, you're not even close to getting by me. Like, what are you
no
talking
way.
about?" So Buddy is, from the very first game we played them, Buddy was super, super mouthy, the epitome of a tryhard
Yes.
in a B League. And we said AAA, there's a little bit of a backstory. So this guy signed up with a family member, and I reached out because of the last names in my league admin position. They had signed up for A-League, and I made a phone call and said, "Hey, we've already actually drafted our A-League teams. They're all set, but had not yet drafted our B-League teams." So I called the guy and I said, "Look, what you guys have signed up for A, what level have you played, so that I kind of know where to put you at? Our A-League is full, but if I need to move pieces and parts around, I don't mind move pieces and parts around." And the guy mentioned that his brothers, the brother I called and spoke to, was the older brother, and spoke and said, "Hey, I played some double and AAA growing up, and then played ACHA club hockey. It's the same level of hockey I played, so I'm aware of where that's at." Which means you can be an A-League player at that level, especially he's relatively young, so he's probably not too far removed, maybe 4 or 5 years removed from ACHA collegiate level hockey, club hockey. And so you can calm down. You can play club level hockey. That's what I played, and I play in our A-League.
Well, I was groaning because I don't think his resume matches his play.
This is the older brother.
Oh, okay. Okay. My bad.
The older brother, I think, fills out
I
what
got you.
he's
Okay.
described.
All right.
Again, if I were his age, I would
Okay. That's
Be
fair.
a
I
lot.
thought we were talking about.
I'm 40, okay? This guy's in his mid to late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
What I was in my mid to late 20s would have been a lot better
Fair.
than what he is,
Fair.
but he does look like your typical collegiate club Division III hockey player. I got no problems with where he's saying he played at. But his statement was that his brother, who was younger than him, who was in his very early 20s, had played AAA up to a certain point and stopped, and then went and played another sport. And so his comments essentially were, "Yeah, my brother's like way better than me." Now, that not those exact words, but like he had the potential to be a lot better than me. Now, on the ice, the older brother is the better player, period. There's no questions about it. He's a much better heads-up player. He's a much better distributor of the puck. He's a much better skater. But in defense of the younger brother, the statements made to me preseason were the younger brother had not skated in about 4 or 5 years, something like that. So totally understand. You got to get your feet back underneath you now. We are 6 games into the season. The feet are not much better underneath than they were under game one. And a lot of that is due to, instead of just skating at the pace you're comfortable skating at, this kid is attempting to skate 150 miles an hour every time he's on the ice. It is 200% effort, 0% brain. He does have a little bit of hands. He's got a decent set of wheels underneath him, and he doesn't have a bad shot. But man, in his head,
He's an all-star.
He thinks he is the greatest thing to touch the ice here in Savannah. So super duper overachiever that got really mouthy in the very first game we played just against Pete. In the game that I played against him a few weeks ago, I was filling in for one of our expansion teams in that league, and played against him. God, we're going to get way in the weeds here. So our league allows upper division players to drop down and play, but with a goal cap, and their upper division player scored 2 goals in the game. And I immediately said, hey, that doesn't count. That's not a goal, because that's his second goal. The referees were unaware. And so I said, it's no big deal. We'll sort it all out. It's okay. And so
I remember this now.
this particular player started mouthing off to me. And saying, well, that's bull crap. This team has like 5 A-level players. And I said, yeah, they don't. I can appreciate that you think they do, but they do not. And so, whatever, man, you don't even know what you're talking about.
No.
So I got sat down on our bench and wasn't particularly bothered until he continued to mouth off. At which point I told you, I said I was really, really close, and I have never, ever, ever pulled this card, and I didn't. And I don't think that I ever will, but I was really close to stepping back on the ice and going to him and saying, do you have any idea who I am? Like, I put all of these leagues together. I know exactly who every single player on every single team is. Like, don't tell me I don't know who is. Like, I know everyone. I know all the guys because I've probably looked at them face to face or had phone conversations with 90% of them. So I know these guys in this league very, very well. I've been running or assisting running this league for going on 3 years now. Like,
since
I'm
day
not
one.
I'm not an idiot, and I'm not just some random guy on this team.
This goes to what we were talking about before we hit record. A lot of people, I find it down here way more than anywhere, a lot of people claim to have played at a high level when it's clear that they haven't.
And I think a lot of it is tied to guys thinking they can play at that level here, because they think, oh, well, this can't be that good a hockey.
And then another thing is like, hey, look, these guys don't know who I am, so I can just, you and I've heard that some guys played pro roller hockey for a pro team, which is not true.
What are you talking about? That they're freaking pro level roller guys.
You're right.
So what if it doesn't? So what if it doesn't translate to ice and you don't even know how to stick handle or skate backwards on ice?
But they played pro.
You're freaking pro roller.
Okay,
Pro
fair
roller.
Bullshit. And yeah,
I'm with you. I
so
try not
many
to take
people claim.
offense.
Yeah,
I try not to take offense to that too, because I grew up here. I'm like, this is where I have played like my entire life. And so I did go to college and played in college, but it was still in the South. So I've never been anywhere else. I guess I take offense to that line of thinking, because I don't try to overvalue myself. I typically undervalue who I am, and I've had conversations with guys, like a guy like Pete or some other guys that I've played with that I consider really good hockey players, that I say, hey, I'm not really that good. And those guys will have said, hey, no, like, don't devalue yourself. You're a good hockey player. So I typically say, hey, I'm probably not as good as what's some other stuff around here, or what's, other guys from other areas are here. So I guess I take a little offense to that, because I'm a product of this area and feel like I'm a decently good hockey player.
And you said it best when we were talking about this in the summer. I don't even know what we're talking about, but if you have to tell people, this is what I did, most of the time, really good players don't have to say that, So,
Agreed.
you said like if you're really good, you don't have to go around throwing around.
Typically, you
I
don't.
played here. You don't have to.
Typically, you don't. Yeah, if you've played any kind of high level hockey, you don't talk about the high level hockey you've played unless someone
Unless you get
asks and
challenged.
says,
Unless you get challenged. Like,
I
what do
don't
you
even know
know?
that guys do it when they get challenged. I think most guys that have played high level hockey that I've run into don't even talk about it unless they're asked about it. Like, hey, you
Right.
look like a pretty good player.
Where
Where have
did
you
you play?
played?
Where? Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's in
And so,
conversation,
and then even at that, it's usually downplayed. Oh,
yes.
I played a little bit of this or a little bit of that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And most guys that get challenged on stuff, if they played higher level hockey, are just kind of like, I've played, I've been around, I've played a little bit of hockey. Most guys that are good players that have played, upper level,
Yeah. But then you get
collegiate
these.
level or higher, they don't typically fling that around like some sort of a badge of
You get
honor.
these guys that just said, "I played here. I play here. I know this. I know that."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so this
I
kid is 100%. This B League kid is 100% an overachiever, 100% the picture definition of a try hard.
Very
And we
much so.
played him this Thursday night. And what was absolutely comical was so we made a conscious decision on our team that the best course of action for us to play together as a team and to have success was that Pete and I both needed to drop back and play D. It was going to be the best method for us. Pete and I felt like we did this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe just a week ago. And I don't even know if we did it out of necessity or why we did it specifically, but we figured out real fast. Pete and I were getting back to the bench and going, man, like for the 60-second shift we were out there, we could almost just pass the puck back and forth to each other in our own defensive zone and completely control the entire shift we were out there. And so we said that probably needs to be the plan going forward is let's just use ourselves back on D, stop allowing rushes and goal scoring opportunities for the other team, and that's probably going to be the best. And so Pete and I collectively on two separate lines 100% shut this kid down. Like he had a handful of shots on net, but basically they were all from wide angles. He bragged one time because he got wide and in the corner and shot the puck on net and turned and looked at Pete and was like, oh man, I totally beat you there. And Pete was like, you beat me to the corner and shot the puck from the goal line. Like if that goes in, that's the goalie. That's not me, dude. What are you talking about? So dude is a try hard and just, oh man, I got this guy, I got that guy. And so it got to the point where I think a couple of guys on our team were a little flustered with the guy because of how much effort he was putting out there. We were winning that game. I'm not going to say easily, but relatively easily. And so then it became a game with three of our four defensemen of how much could we mess with the kid during the whole game.
see that's what makes it fun.
I didn't say a word about it, but basically I could tell when the kid's temperature was getting ramped up. So one of our D guys, I forget what he said he did, but basically flattened the kid in the boards because he kept making some, silly moves. And our D guy was like, yeah, if you're going to keep doing that, I'm just going to put you on your backside one time. And then the kid's brother took a run at our D guy, right? So they both get penalties. It's whatever. So, but at that point I said, all right, this kid is a bit of a problem. Like I don't like his attitude. And so I kind of consciously was roaming around the ice waiting for what I always used to call, or what our guys in college called a good night nurse pass, what a lot of guys call a hospital pass. I started actively looking for the hospital passes to this kid at the blue line. And I wasn't going to try to kill him, but I was definitely going to lean my body into him at the same time I played the puck, and just kind of send a message of like, hey, you're like, I know you think you're hot stuff, but you're just not. Little did I know, Pete was taking a very same approach where Pete was basically actively seeking out, like almost flipping sides of the ice to go one-on-one with the kid and constantly shut the kid down. And so the kid was getting hunted by our defense because he's such an overachiever. And we were kind of like, yeah, we're just done with this dude. Like, you need to calm down. So I dumped him behind the net one time.
It was like a big brother putting little brother in his place.
Yeah, we were little brother and the kid a little bit. So again, not like to be mean or anything, but the kid just needed to calm down a couple notches.
But that game had a weird, I don't want to say a weird feel right to the beginning, but their captain just started beaking at me right off the bat. I'm like, I don't even know who the heck you are.
Not a captain. He's not their captain. Barrett's their captain.
Well, why did he? Oh, he had an A on his jersey.
He might have been alternate.
Yeah.
Barrett.
Barrett. We
Lowry.
love Barrett. I like
Love
Barrett. I'm a big fan.
Very well known, good guy. And we told Barrett a lot of this stuff about this particular kid, and he said, "Hey, in the locker room, great guy. On the ice, a little bipolar. Not really sure what's going on there. Can't seem to get him calmed down." We talked to their A-League player after the game. Same thing. He said he told the guy, like, "Hey, this is what you need to do." And said the guy looked at him and said, "I know how to play hockey. You don't need to tell me what to do." Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Chief. Like, good luck. Have fun. Like, it's not going to work.
Right, yeah.
So it's, overachiever. Just calm down, buddy. So we have one
simmer.
of those. We have one of those in C-League too, and we've known about this particular player for quite a while, but we got to experience it really up close and personal refereeing this game. So tremendous amount of fun. Codename Eminem is an absolute idiot.
And when we say Eminem, we're talking about the 8 Mile Eminem, not where he's living in a mansion Eminem. This is not popular Eminem.
Not the 35-year-old or whatever old he is now, bearded guy who still does rap music.
This is pre-popular Eminem.
This is like early Eminem, where like, hey, his music's cool, but he also looks like he owns 475 crack pipes.
Yes,
like that Eminem.
Yes, basically,
we're not actually talking about the Eminem. We're talking. It's a code name for someone else.
Sarah, I don't go to your
Sarah's like the referees, just interjecting herself in the game here.
I don't go to her hobbies and tell her what to do and how to run it. So,
Oh my gosh!
All right, now you got to say what happened because your eyes just got big.
Did you not hear that?
I heard something fall.
The dogs. Sarah came into the kitchen, and I'm not really sure what was going on with the dogs, but the dogs, all three, came running across our floor. It's a hardwood floor, and so they get to the little entryway to the kitchen, and they all tried to stop, and they slammed into the wall, and the dog balls and everything just went flying. Like, now Sarah's mocking me for laughing about it.
Sarah, we got to put you in a timeout.
She needs a timeout.
Yeah. I'm gonna put her in a Jimmy DeLoach.
She just.
As long as we're talking about Sarah. Hey, Sarah, I miss you. I know. Okay, cool. You don't miss me. And you even said it's funny that you're still carrying on with the conversation. Don't say anything. Forget it, Sarah. I don't miss you.
All right, back to our boy Eminem. So
Eminem. Just the king of know-it-all.
The king of overachievers.
The king of USA Hockey rule book.
Yeah. Never have I met a guy who tells you, whether you're a referee, whether you're a league admin, whether you're another player, that he, A, knows the rules, B, has the rule book on his phone so he can tell you the rules, C, argues with referees, head referees, regional directors of referees, like all of this nonsense.
So his
argues with other players, just like, nonstop. Buddy is. So
to be fair, his cheap ass tattoos, his prison tattoos, is the USA Hockey rule book, so he can quote it at any time.
But it's like the hand drawn one. It's non-stencil.
Yes, it's faded.
It's a very scribbly looking one.
And you actually have to re-tattoo it to read what's going on.
Looks like a 5-year-old put it on there.
But again, you and I are not the only ones that say this, because multiple people came up to us and said he knows the rules. He always quotes he always says USA Hockey. I know the rules. Well, look here, I don't even want to give people the soft. I just don't want to give people the impression that I'm using our podcast to go at him, because anything I say here, I will say in person. And we've said that in the podcast, but I've never met a guy that just thinks he knows the rules and just thinks he can go after anybody and have it be okay.
Yeah. Well, some part of the problem too is, and again, the whole theme of what we're talking about here is guys that are overachievers on the ice. Again, this is beer league. You are there to have a good time, to be able to play hockey. And I know this seems a little silly maybe at our age and stuff, but like sportsmanship is a big part of this. And so, like, for the most part, anytime we're playing, there's not a bunch of guys that are out there acting like jerks, right? And so this guy, for whatever reason, does not know how to play hockey without acting like a jerk. I mean, he regularly is instigating conflict.
1 to 2 penalties every game, which is mind-boggling to me. I mean, that's acceptable.
he is
To him.
regularly instigating the conflict, mouthing off to other players. If things are not moving in the direction he wants them to move, as far as what he feels is fair and just, as what the officials are calling, he begins to challenge and instigate with the referees. And so by far, he takes the cake of the most overachiever in any of our leagues. I mean, just incredibly obnoxious with the way
100%.
that he
And
plays the game.
It's not just this season; it's last season.
Last season too,
Yeah, and it's gotten to the point where multiple people have just said that guy's a complete dick, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
Correct. Yeah, that's been a big concern across
He's
multiple
basically,
teams, that
if
he's
you
not
will,
a-
the hamburger or chicken wrap of Fancy Parkers. He's just complete diarrhea.
he is the poo stew
He
of the
is.
C-League.
He is. He is. And you even said, like, have you ever had to deal with a player like this back in Chicago? And I said,
I did
this
ask
is
that, yeah.
This is so new. Like, no, then never. Like, I don't think anybody would want that. You know,
No.
no way.
The way you guys develop teams in Chicago is you pick your teams.
You pick
so
your team.
if I gave guys the opportunity to pick teams, I highly doubt that he would be picked to a team.
I don't know. Now he's got a BFF. So
So they could have a team together, just the two of them. Because I don't
Yes.
think the other one would get picked either.
they're doing their
He was an auto bid.
they're doing their own podcast.
Yeah. The John Goodman podcast. Got him.
I would hit that. I would hit
God. Oh, that a boy Cooch.
that. Coach, no, you wouldn't.
Hit it with a frat paddle across the face. Oh man.
Here's some flour. Oh, guys.
Good stuff. Nope. Can't tell you. You'll just have to appreciate that we think it's funny. So
Yeah,
Oh,
this
man.
guy is very extra, way too much. And look, maybe people say that about me, but I'm more comical. I don't. I think I've only gotten one penalty on two.
we did kind of get after you a little bit in the B League. Was it the B League? Yeah, it was the B League, to try to calm down just a little bit. I didn't want to instigate things. We could tell the temperature. It was when the brother kind of ran after one of our guys. I said, hey, just you were mouthing a little bit, and I said, just relax a little. I don't want it to get out of control. And so, and you did. And
You
nothing
even
you
told
were
me,
doing was
at
nothing
one of
you
the
were
games,
doing was instigating. It was just,
no. But yeah, you did tell me, Abdu, calm down. And I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who he is. You're like, calm down. I said, Holland, he came at me first, and yeah, I did. That was one of the rare times where I did listen to you on the
did.
bench, and I didn't even think it was funny. I was like, okay, fine, but
yeah.
yeah, I just Eminem, 8 Mile Eminem, is just, he's a thorn in my ass, just a pain. So I don't think there's a need for that. Just
I
calm
agree.
down. Just calm down and play the game. And when he was in the penalty box, I just calm down, enjoy the game, just have fun. Just have
I don't
fun.
think the guy. I don't think he knows how to.
I think this is fun for him.
I think
this,
fun for him is screaming
Yeah.
and hollering at people, instigating, and basically living on the borderline, on the edge of fight. I think he likes to get other people wound up.
Yeah, he gets off on that. He's a freak.
I think so too, and I think that he likes to do that so that he can create controversy. And I think he likes to live in controversy. Now, he has in the past gotten himself into an altercation, and so I think I think his game is to get people wound up and then play the victim.
Yeah,
Hey,
100%.
he hacked me. Hey, he chopped me. Hey, he did something. Now I'm going to retaliate, but you can't hold me accountable for retaliating because they instigated by actually taking a chop at me or something like that, even though I've been living on the edge of penalties the entire game with this same player kind of thing.
Maybe
So, yeah,
Eminem just
he's-
didn't get love, and like how you get that one kid in school that just acts up just for attention.
Like mom didn't hold me type
Yes,
syndrome.
I bet you he just, 8 Mile, no love on 8 Mile.
Yeah, it happens. It'd be like that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
getting a
he-
lot of flack. This is I'm getting a lot of flack in the background from my wife for some of the things, the comments we're making. But I want to be fair. I want to be fair. I'm going to bring her on a Sunday and have her watch, and then I'm going to put her on the podcast, and she's going to say much worse things about this individual than what we're currently saying if she were to ever watch him play hockey.
You know what? I've seen this on social media. Sarah, we listen and we don't judge.
No, we listen and judge.
Yeah,
because we are currently judging.
Well, she's judging us.
I'm okay with that. So, oh man. All right, guys. That's give us a shout in the comments. Let us know what you think about Overachievers. What did you think about? Please don't dime any of these guys out if you know who we're talking about. If you do that, that's on you, and we'll find you and lock you in a box. And I don't know.
Don't give anyone ideas, because I feel like I'm going to get locked in a box too now by somebody, by certain listeners. I don't want to get locked in a box. I like my skin. The other night when we went out, you're like, oh, they're just going to cut you just a little bit, like foreskin, just a little bit.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't, but I
did
said
not.
you guys.
Someone,
I said
you
yes.
said that.
No, I didn't say someone's going to cut my foreskin.
It was someone else said
yes.
that. Yeah. It wasn't me. It was not me.
But it was funny.
That was funny.
It was funny. It was funny.
Shout out. You know who you are. Oh, man. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about Overachievers. If you got them in your leagues where you're playing, where you're listening at, let us know. Give us your stories. We love the interactions with you guys. We usually say this at the beginning. We didn't, but if you like what you're hearing, you love what you're listening to, we've made you laugh. I think we're going to do this from now on. If you laugh, you got to hit the like button. You got to hit the subscribe button. If you're laughing and you're not doing that, what are you doing, guys? Come on.
Yeah, and there's no way there's only like 3 people laughing. Mandy, I know you don't laugh like 3 weeks later, 87 times, like.
I know there's 100 guys in our league listening to this, because I've had half of them come up to me and tell me, "Oh man, we've listened to the
Sarah. Damn it!
We've listened to the podcast. You guys are hilarious."
Yeah, and here's another thing: just because you listen to the podcast and I don't know who you are, don't be busting my balls on the ice right off the bat. Come up and say, "Hey, I listened to the podcast. Now I'm gonna bust your balls." Don't start trying to have a chirping contest with me, because more often than not, you're gonna lose that battle. You are not armed to be in a chirping.
Every time you're gonna.
You are not armed to be in a chirping battle with me. The
dictionary and thesaurus that Abdu has of chirps is unmatched.
And I tell you what, if I feel like I am losing, I will get your number and you're getting videos. And I win. I win. So,
or he'll find your clothes in the locker room, and he'll just find your clothes.
Why would you say that? I would do that. Because now you sound like I'm some panty sniffer. Now you sound like I'm some perverted panty sniffer.
I didn't say what you did with
No, but you just stopped. You just had them. Whatever, Holland.
Oh, man.
But yeah, guys, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. You're going to want to listen to the next podcast after this one.
We got a lot of good guests coming on. We got a couple of guests lined up. We've got more behind that. So.
And we are going to have Sarah on the podcast. It's not going to be hockey related.
As an official guest.
It's going to be called the Jimmy DeLoach podcast. All right. I miss you, Sarah. I know. All right, cool.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. We love you. Peace.
Bye. Listen to the next podcast.